Hello everyone, Satisfied Bear here, and we're bringing you another Rune Strike video. This time we're going to be talking about those balance changes. Finally, after I don't know how many, I know at least a couple of videos I talked about that was going to be one of the next videos as soon as we got any more information on it, and we actually do. So recording this video tomorrow, Thursday, when this video is uploaded, that is when the balance patch will come out for this and everything like that. Patch 1.0.18, that's what they're calling it. So yeah, it's 49 cards. It's a lot of cards. We're gonna go over a few of them here in the video, talking about a few of them. So we're gonna try to keep it as short as I can, hopefully crush your fingers. But yeah, before we jump into the video, if this is your first time here, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below, of course, and the bell so you get notifications of when we upload videos. Remember, if you're liking this content, hit that thumbs up, of course, or just go ahead and punch it straight in the mouth. Whatever you totally feel like doing, it's up to you. And last but certainly not least, if you have any questions for me, go ahead and leave it down in the comment section below. So, as I said, there was 49 cards that they reworked and balanced. Not going to go over every single one. We're going to go over a few, hopefully here, talk about a few, see if they'll talk about the nerfs in the buffs with them, and if possibly they'll still see play because of that. I'll leave a link to the forum. If you haven't signed up for the forums, you're going to have to sign up to be able to see the patch notes and everything like that if you want to go check them out. And check out all the cards that are there. Other thing that we'll do as well too is leave a link to their Discord in the description as well too. So both of them will be down in the description down there for you to click on and check out and everything like that. The Discord has a lot of awesome people. There's a deck building section in there. There's a tournament constantly. I know one of the players there kind of runs a tournament, and it's a slower tournament, like kind of when you can play. So it's really cool that they're doing and everything. So in between stuff, want to put this out there. June 23rd is the official full release. Right now it can always change, of course, if other things come up, so don't put, but I really think they are shooting for that date like 100%. But it always could change. The other thing is that they are planning a release here shortly for iOS users. I know there's people out there that may play cart CCGs on Apple devices, and it's not there yet, but it is coming. So just keep your eye out for it and everything like that. And definitely, like I said, give this card game a try. It's definitely worth a look. It's different. It has different mechanics, and I really do enjoy it. I do, and I know a lot of other people enjoy it as well too. I mean, you can come to the Discord and you can see that. So the first thing that we're going to jump into are they're revising some of the keywords. The keywords are what you can see on the card here, like Fuse, Berry, Warcry. Is just a few of them. The ones that they're going to be working on is Stealth. This minion cannot block or be blocked anymore. Enemy champions can't target it as well too. After this minion attacks or receives damage, it loses Stealth. So after that, then it can be damaged and everything. That's when it can be damaged, so because it loses its Stealth then. So yeah. The next one I think is a big one. I never got to do this. I really wish I did. Is the speed. Speed. So what speed does is it gives you a second attack usually. So you attack once and then you attack again. What people were doing, and they were able to stack multiple speeds onto a card. So it would have technically like 3 speed attacks or whatever, so then it got like 6 attacks because it was doubling it, because it doubles, kind of deal thing. So speed cannot stack anymore onto minions now, creatures and everything like that. You cannot do that. You can't keep, I think you can do it at least one time and then that's it. You can't just keep, like I said, doing it. The other one is Corrupted. Corrupted is where your opponent targets your minion attacks your champion. It does, unless there is a guard creature on the board, then it would attack the guard creature. Now it's going to attack a random friendly minion on the board, and I still believe if there's a guard creature, it will attack the guard creature first. If there is no guard creature, it's going to attack a random friendly minion out there. However, if there is if you have no other cards on the board and it gets targeted with Corrupted, then that's when it will attack your enemy champion. Only then. So yeah. The other one, they have completely removed this keyword, rebirth. That's on some cards where those cards would come back as other cards, and I think they're going to be replaced with the one keyword that they kind of want to just go with, and is the bury. Yeah, that's what they want to go with. More so this right here, the bury. So it triggers when the minion dies, and I think that's what it's going to be switched to on some of the cards. I'll have to double check to make sure of that, but not 100% sure. I mean, they could be completely just gone off those cards. Those cards may not even have it no more, so those cards only have a one-use kind of deal thing on some of them. So now we're going to jump into the cards that are being nerfed and buffed here. So we'll show you some. Angel of Hope. So as you can see, this is going to be nerfed. Warcry, you restore 5 health. That's going to be you restore 4 health now. I think that's more in line with all of the stats that's going on with this card. I think it'll still see play for people's light decks, because it is a really good way to kind of possibly hopefully keep you alive long enough to stabilize your board. And yeah, but yeah, I think getting 10 health back, that's powerful in a sense. And I mean, it's a 7 health creature as well too on top of that, so now it's going to be 4 health you get back, so it'll be a total of 8 health that you get back. This is a card that I did not play with, is Apollo. I haven't played with, honestly. I haven't teched him into any of my decks really, and I think I don't know, I haven't really, but his as you can see, he's dangerous, and all friendly minions restore 2 health when you cast a spell, and he gains Veil. So he's losing the word dangerous as far as I saw on the card on the forums there. He's losing that, so he doesn't do double damage to the champions anymore. So he doesn't do 14 points of damage, he'll do 7 now when he hits the champion. He is keeping Veil. Every time you cast a spell, he gains Veil, so he, like that. This is where it's also changing. It will target, basically one friendly minion will restore 2 health. So that's the other thing that's changing, and I'm not sure if that makes him. I think that changes him a little bit. I think he'll see less play if he was played in anyone's decks. You know, I can honestly, like I said, I haven't played him. I have not played. Avenging Angel is the other card that is getting a slight nerf to it, and I'm going to throw this name under the bus because I think he's the one that caused it. DT Blade. One of his streams, I believe he got 20 points off this card of damage to the champion without even swinging this card, because he had Anubis on the board. Death Knell, I think it is called, or whatever. I believe it's, yeah, there it is. Target friendly minion triggers its bury ability. This minion dies at the end of the turn. So an Anubis is your minions trigger their bury abilities twice. So yeah, that's 20 points of health. And yeah. So I'm blaming DT Blade on that one. Just so you know, DT Blade, if you watch this video. All right. The next card, one of my favorite cards, and I'm kind of sad that she's getting another nerf. And oh, did I mention? I think Avenging Angel will still see play, and he's going down to 4 health. I don't think I said that actually, as I'm jumping ahead. So it's only going to deal 4 health to your champion, so it reduces. So again, that's huge in a sense. Again, I think two points of health is huge when it comes to some of these games. You know, like 1 point is not so huge. It's that second point that gets you in a sense. So, okay. She's my favorite card. Brigitte is my... she's one of the cards that usually gets teched into your green decks. I believe so. She's like teched into almost every single green deck out there, I would assume, because of what she brings in value. Being a 5 cost with a 4 attack and 6 health. Like, that is really good. Just a really solid card alone. Where she gets a little out of control, and not, I don't think that much, is that played from hand, it says, like, you get to target a minion and it gains equal to this minion's health. So you would put 6 attack onto a minion and it keeps that 6 attack. It doesn't go away like some of these other cards where they're like until the end of the turn. So she's going down to a 4/4. I think that's a little too harsh. I think a 4/5 would be a lot better. I think that is the sweet spot, and that is me personally speaking about it. And hopefully and I know that they'll be keeping an eye on a lot of these cards that they're buffing and nerfing constantly and stuff like that. And if it doesn't affect it, it doesn't affect it. Like, good for them for getting it right, totally, first time. But I think it needs. I would go 5 health. That's where I think right there, just because it gives her survivability against some of the cards that are within this range and everything like that. You know, like of creatures that it may be in front of her or something, or, you know, like, hopefully, you know, like, whatever. So yeah, that's my biggest gripe about that one. We're gonna look at Circe. She is getting she's getting a nerf as well too. As you can see right now, she conjures a random spell and it costs 0 mana to cost it. It's a legendary. I mean, why not? I mean, legendary, I mean, it's pretty epic, but I mean, if you conjure a powerful spell, okay, I understand that. But what's the chances? I don't know how many spells are in this game, on the game, in the client right now. Personally, I would have to look that up. Now though, that she will conjure a spell and it's going to reduce its cost by 5. So if you get a 8 cost spell, usually it's going to reduce it by 5, so it'll be a 3 cost instead. So you may not be able to play it that turn. You may have to wait a turn to play that spell instead. So I kind of understand why they're doing it, to slow down that combo there, in a sense. They're just trying to slow it down just a little bit. The next one is getting a slight buff as well too, and it is our crab creature, which has Veil. As you can see, it's a 3/4. It is going to a 3/5. I would play this card. I've put this card into some decks just because it's a good stat line of cards or stats. I love stats there. But yeah, Veil is. I think Veil is very good, especially against a deck that's heavily teched with spells, and your enemy champion that you're playing has a lot of direct abilities that attack your creatures, and so it can't be attacked anymore, and now they got to pick other targets. So it just gives it a little bit more survivability, like against your Sickle Stalker, you know, kind of deal thing. That's, yeah, so I can kind of see that, which is good. Gives it a little bit more survivability. I like it. I still think people will play that creature just if they don't have another 4-drop to put in there. You know what I mean? So, yeah. This is another card that I don't have currently. Is the Daemon Drake. As you can see, surface is that this is triggered when it's pulled from your deck. It deals 2 damage to all enemies. All of it is staying the same. They're just flipping the stat lines. This is going to be a 6 attack with 9 health. So it's going to be a bigger body. So I can see this card getting more and more play now because of that. Because it's going to have more health. It's going to be able to stick on the board a little bit longer. Because you got to remember, your flight creatures attack over the creatures that are just on the board. They don't attack those creatures at all. So this creature will attack the the champion unless your the person your opponent has a guard that has a vast on it, or the creature in front of it has vast on it. Then that's when this would attack, and that's when lethal comes into play, because lethal it will be doing 12 points of damage to the minion, and not just 6 points like it would be going to the face of your opponent's champion. So again, I like this move. I think this card might see a little bit more play now because of that, because of being a little bit more beefier and be able to take a few more hits, to say. This one is right here as well too. It's in red. It is Desperate Charge. Desperate Charge, it's staying the same. The wording is changing on the card. As you can see, your minions gain 4 attack, but have their health reduced to 1 health. Now, this card's going to increase still for the health, but 4 attack. But at the end of your turn, it's going to go back to whatever the original attack power was. So if it was a 6 attack creature, so it jumped up to 10 for the 1 turn, it goes back to 6 at the end of your turn. And at the end of your turn, the card is reduced to 1 health. So once you pass your turn, that's when it gets reduced to 1 health there. So it's interesting. I know this is another card that was being comboed with another card that we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. Let's see here. The next one is Diana. I have not played with her because I don't have her, but I think I have conjured her one time during a arena run. That's what I was thinking of. So as you can see, it's a 10 cost, 7/7 Warcry. Your beast costs 0 mana until the end of your turn. At this point, I don't know, I think she didn't see any play, so that's why they're doing this kind of a buff to her, and I think it is a buff. More will come of it. Hopefully she sees some more play. Hopefully we get some people creating some beast decks out there. I think Ogma would be really good with her now, because of what he can do for buffing cards and everything like that. So what is happening to her? She's going down to a 5 cost. So she's cutting her mana cost in half. Now her stat line is changing as well too. She's not keeping 7/7 worth points of stats. That would be ridiculous at a 5 cost. She is going to a 4 attack, 5 health. So again, that's where I was talking about Brigade being a 4 attack, 5 health as well too. I think again that's the sweet spot, I believe, right there for that. And the war cry for her now changes that the mana will be reduced for your beast in your hand by 2. So all your beast in your hand will be reduced by 2 for the rest of the time. It doesn't end at the end of your turn, so you don't have to play it right then and there. You can play them out when you have a better combo in a sense. So yeah, this is another card that I've always liked as well too. Great Elk. I need to make another copy of Great Elk. Great Elk is getting an extra health. Basically, right now it's a 6 health. 6, at a 5, this right here, the rally alone is phenomenal. It makes it really hard for your opponent to remove cards, especially if they can't remove this card. If they can't remove your Great Elk, it's going to be very hard for them to remove your other cards as well too, which can really help you turn the tide of the battle and everything like that for you there. So that's the only thing that's changing with that I saw. Let's see here. I'm gonna have to search this one because I can't remember. See, there he is. I don't have him. Great Worm. As you can see, he's Frenzy, and this permanently gains an attack. So triggering an ability when this minion attacks and kills another minion. This card is getting a completely different wording, completely different everything else. And I hope that they kind of try to bring more of these cards into the game and everything like that. The consume cards, because I really think that they're lacking on consume cards, because a lot of times your board may be full at this time and you're like, I have this card, I want to play it because it's a good card. Now you can. So now this card's going to be consumed, and when it consumes a creature or a minion on the board, it gains speed as well too. So now this card's going to, I believe this card's going to see quite a bit. If it hasn't already seen a good amount of play, it's going to see a lot more, especially being a neutral card and a 7 cost with speed. That's 8 points of damage technically from it every time it attacks, and an 8 health creature. Yeah, I think it's going to see some good play on there. Okay, this is another card that's getting, I don't know, like it's losing the word still. So is it losing still? No, I don't think it's losing still. Sorry, I'm wrong. Counter is being removed. Trigger an ability after surviving an attack. So after an attack, it triggers. It's being removed, but also too, I think that they're putting vulnerable on this thing as well too. So it gets dealt double damage when it switches to the Raging Behemoth. I think that's when it gets it. So now when a creature attacks, it would do double damage to it. So it can be removed very quickly. Or if it gets hit by a spell, it does double damage. So again, I don't know, but I think that's what's happening with this card. I'm not 100% sure. I could totally be wrong as well too. But we should see how that affects this card. I know this was a lot of people's, some people's card that would end games in a sense because of what it did when it switched to the Raging Behemoth, like dealing double damage, having reach. I believe all that's staying, like. But yeah, being vulnerable now kind of hurts it a little bit, but I don't think too much, because at this point, like, you're trying to close out the game anyways, and hopefully you have your opponent at that point to close them out. Okay, this is the other card that was comboed with Desperate Charge, the Longship Raiders. You can combo this at 10 mana. You created 3 Viking Raiders, which were 2/2 bodies. And if you killed a creature with a Viking Raider, you got a copy of one of your opponent's cards. It was random. However, now that's 6, 12, 18 points of damage right there. Alone, just from the Longship Raider Desperate Charge combo. And if there was 3 lanes that were open, that's 18 points coming to your face that you cannot stop, because these guys have blitz. Yeah, that's a pretty powerful combo. So this is being increased by 1, so 7. So it takes that combo out. So at least you can see it coming. So you know that you have 1 turn to set up your board and try to block, basically, and hope for the best, Or if you already have it blocking, and then you're fine, But yeah, like I said, that was just something that was pretty not game breaking, but definitely powerful, I should say. The next one is Marked for Death, which is kind of bummed. Nothing's changing for the wording on this card. As you can see, it's a 3 cost. It's going to a 4 cost. This card's going to still see play. It will. Oh, buddy, I have taken this card out of my my decks, out of my green decks, because I'm kind of curious how this is going to work. Pagan Harvest, as of right now, you discard the lowest mana cost minion from your hand, and you gain blood equal to its cost. So a lot of people were playing this in Laura decks. Laura's A3 ability is you create a Griffin, and it looks at the top of your deck, and it gains that much attack, and it gains blitz as well too. So people were playing this on turn 3. Hopefully you hit a very high cost. Hopefully you only had a high cost minions in your deck, and then it just sets you up for like 2 turns of having those Griffins out on the board, which it costs 5 blood for that ability. So this is definitely seen a nerf. It'll be interesting to see if people play it still. I don't think people will, because I think it's been hurt too much in a sense. Whoops. As I click off, sorry. There we go. So what it is going to is it's going to discard the lowest minion in your hand. If this happens, you gain 2 blood, but if it hits a beast, you gain 3 blood. So it's more just straight across the board. Do I think some people will play this? Yeah, I think some people will still try it out, but I think overall, I think this card's going to go to the wayside because everybody was playing to hit those 6 costs, 7 costs, 8 costs, you know, with on turn 3, basically, you know, and having a Griffin on turn 3. So I think that really hurts it now because now you're hoping that you have a beast in your hand and it's your lowest cost, so you can hit that and still be able to play Lourdes A3 ability on turn 3 because you should already have at least 3 blood. So I mean, even you'll get 1 turn of it. It doesn't keep it going, I should say. So you should have at least, yeah. Again, I think it's just going to go. It's just not. You're not going to see it as much. Oh, this is going to be a fun card to play with. I will be honest. This is one I have played with this card in some of my decks because it's just fun. I mean, it's a 1-drop. It has 1/1 of stats. Okay, nothing great about it. And each time you summon a soldier, this gains 1 attack. So again, that's where it can come pretty powerful if you can keep the board cleared in front of it. However, it still only has 1 health, so it's very easily targeted. Now, though, I think this card becomes a lot better for soldier decks. This card will be put into a bunch of them. It's just going to see play now. It's going to gain +1/+1 every time you summon a soldier. So if you can get out ahead of your opponent with this card really, really fast, this card can snowball. It can get out of control with some of these combos. Like, where is he at? I think he's right here. Is he in here? Oh, no. He's a 4 cost. Sorry. The Charioteer. The adjacent minions gain +1/+2. And he's a soldier as well, too. So usually I try to put the pheasant recruit on one side and another creature on another side and hit him with this. Now, that makes this play so much more powerful because he's going to gain +1/+1 from it. So he's going to gain 2 attack and 3 health. So he becomes a lot harder to kill now by that turn in that sense. So watch out for some soldier decks. I think soldier decks are going to start seeing a little bit of a uptick with just that change alone, personally. The next one, this is the one that I was talking about for Brigette. Twister, as you can see, is a 5-cost creature and it deals 4 damage. It is being nerfed to 6 costs. It's still going to. This card will still be in people's decks, so expect it in green decks. I mean, for 6 costs to do 4 damage, you can wipe out a lot of creatures, and now Brigette's one of those. That's where I'm talking about. That's the issue with me for that, and also to flight. They're stunned for at least a turn, so they can't attack. So, yeah, this card will still see play, even though it's getting bumped up to 6 mana, which I think is fine for it as well too. I think if it goes to 7, it just kills the card then, because 4 damage for 7 mana, man, not worth it, you know, in a sense. So that's the last of the card that I really want to talk about and everything. So if you've made it this far, I appreciate you as always, and until next time, hopefully your adventures are always satisfying.